Hey friends, it's your tabletop gaming pal, Will Phillips, here with a brief overview to my recently released, lightweight, rules light, minimalist, very dumb, over-the-top homage to 80s and 90s action genre tropes, Bravado, Bombast, Brains, and Bullets. This is a rule set that is fully contained within two trifold pamphlets. You will get them printed out from itch.io as single pagers, which you will then need to fold. The rules are broken into two parts. You've got the personnel dossier here, which, apart from the totally rad Uzi submachine gun and opening scroll, gives you your character creation rules. When you open up the pamphlet, these two panels give you your full breakdown of a very lightweight character, and then you've got your integral character sheet built into the rules, so that once you go through character creation, you fold it back in, you've got your core player-facing rules here, so that as the game goes out, you've got your character sheet on one side, core rules reference on the right. So what are those core rules, Will? I hear you asking me. If you are familiar with games like Freeform Universal or Blades in the Dark, or a host of other D6 dice pool games, I know very popular in the free league space as well. Similar to that, it's a game that uses D6s. At max, you will need 6 D6. Usually you're going to be rolling 1, 2, 3, 4 as the game goes along. It is a roll and look for your highest result, with the effect being very strongly pulled from Freeform Universal's. 6 is critical success, 5 is success, mixed results in the middle, then moving to failure and critical failures as I knock my camera phone around. Built on top of that are a series of very simple character-facing mechanics. The game itself takes the name from the stats of your character: Bravado, Bombast, Brains, and Bullets. And if you are familiar with, if you remember, if you're an elder millennial like me or Gen Xer, or if you've just consumed action pop culture from the last 30, 40 years, you'll remember the A-Team. And if you remember the characters there, they map, the main 4 map to the 4 stats. So if you ever have a question of what do I roll for, think of the A-Team characters. Hannibal being Bombast, the plans. I love it when a plan comes together. Critical thinking, inspiring, motivating folks. Bravado being face, the social roles, disguise, intrigue, deception, charm. And you've got Brains of Howling Mad Murdoch, anything that is vaguely technological or mechanical. So that could range everywhere from hacking to driving a tank or the space shuttle. I don't care. It all falls under the purview of Brains. And then lastly, Bullets being the stat you could associate with Mr. T himself, B.A. Baracus. It is the catch-all combat, violence, explosions, knives, nunchucks, grenades, etc. stat. However, you also, in the long-standing tradition of super rad action movies, have dedicated stats for a dedicated vehicle that your character has. The exact description and shape and form of that vehicle is entirely freeform for you to describe as you want. You see in this example character I've written down that he is driving a big rig tow truck because he has a very durable vehicle with some gadgets being a catch-all stat for weapons and or other gizmos, whether that is action movie hijinks in the form of caltrops, oil slicks, fog banks, or in the case of this big truck, something that's more matter-of-fact and practical, like a tow cable and or boom. However, that's the character. This is not a 200-page game. This is not even a 20-page game. This is designed for those of you like myself who might have another heavier duty, more intense, ongoing, quote-unquote, serious game, but might be interested in a break every once in a while. And what's better for a break than a minimalist 2-pamphlet game where you can create a character in 30 seconds and just have fun? And so that's what you get for the personnel dossier: character creation rules, core rules, character sheet. If you want some random tables for character creation, you have that on the back. But as you play, this is all a player is going to need to reference at the table are these two panels. That then takes us to the operations manual. And here, instead of the Uzi submachine gun, we've got a sweet Lamborghini Countach from the 80s and the Hughes helicopter model that was seen in, yes, you guessed it, Magnum PI. And here, similar approach to what information is needed at any given time. The GM is most often just going to need this opening of the pamphlet. You've got information on how the game plays, general mechanical things to keep in mind, and then the basic structure of the 4 what we call structured scene types. Of that, it's really three and a half. Most of the game, sure, can be played pretty informally with free-form character actions and descriptions and narrative, and the GM calling for stat checks as you go along. But when you have those big set-piece moments, the big action shootouts, the big stakes and infiltration scenes, or the chases, those all have very lightweight, very easy to use, but specific mechanics that add to the flavor of this action movie genre. In the back of the operation manual, the GM guide, you've got stats for 4 different categories of bad guys that your good guy player characters will be facing, mooks, mobs, a couple of varieties of henchmen, and then the catch-all final boss. And again, this is ultra minimalist. It's basic stats that should get out of the way that'll let you tell a fun, dumb story about whatever 80s, 90s action movie trope you can think of. Heck, Fast and Furious, in my mind, is carrying on that tradition, and you could absolutely tell a Fast and Furious story about family with this rule set as well, especially with the focus on characters having vehicles of their own. The only other thing to call out here is on the interior of the GM guide of the operation manuals, you've got a set of action trope specific random tables based around D6s that if you just need to spark some ideas, put together a plot real quick, you should be able to make some basic rolls and get pointed in a direction or have specific ideas come from that. So there you go. All in under 10 minutes. Here's the introduction. Here's the overview. Like I said, if you are looking for a dumb, fast summertime break to your normal game and or just want to have a game that you can hang out, have fun, have some laughs over without getting too invested in serious and without having to spend a ton of time on prep, whether that's you, the GM, preparing an adventure, or whether that's spending 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours building characters. That is not this. You can get characters created in literally under 90 seconds and be off to the races. And by races, I mean races with exploding cars, because that is the stories we're telling here. If you have more questions, if you want more details, there are also 2 other videos that go into detail about either document, the personnel dossier, and the operation manual. It'll break down the system in more detail, answer questions. But if you do have questions beyond that, please do reach out, comment in the thread, leave a comment on the itch.io page, or feel free to reach out to me on Twitter and or Instagram. Would love to chat. Have fun, throw grenades, throw ninja stars, do all the dumb stuff, and enjoy a lightweight take on the action genre. Have fun.